What's up, everybody? This is Joshua Harmon Sr., and the new show we're doing today is Ask a Pro 479, where we will interview local businesses that offer services to homeowners and also real estate investors. And we got a special guest today, Matt Merrill with 2M Investments. How you doing today?
Good, Josh. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, tell you a little bit about Matt. I don't know, probably met you about a year ago, just through passing, and I'm calling him about an apartment complex. He's like, yeah, I don't own that, but let's have lunch. And we had lunch. He paid for my lunch, which I really appreciate, man. And he told me a little bit about the beginning of 2M. You know, he wanted to go out and buy properties and buy distressed properties, fix them up, put them back on the market, and now that's turned into several other ancillary businesses that are doing extremely well. So we want to chat with Matt today about 2M Investments. He's going to educate you guys on the services he provides and how he can improve your property, improve your situation. So, Matt, tell us a little bit about your background and how 2M came to existence.
Sure. You know, I've kind of been around the entrepreneur life my entire life with my father, kind of doing his own thing since he was, out of high school.
Yeah.
And from the time I was younger, I either wanted to be a pro football or baseball player or be an entrepreneur. And that's how I wanted to live that style and that type of life because that's what I knew. And so, I went into banking out of college or, insurance banking and kind of built that relationships with everybody and kind of grew my network. And I went and worked for my dad for a little while.
Yeah.
And working for my dad helped me build more contacts and learn the multifamily game, self-storage, learning about real estate and about real estate investing. And so when we parted ways, I went to work at a larger bank here in town, and that's where we met.
Yeah.
So it was about May, I would say, of last year. We went and had lunch, and you called me up on that apartment complex.
Yeah.
And so, my name was on everything my dad owned because I registered it all, so he didn't have to take those calls from people like you. And so that's how that's what got us started. And then while I was at Centennial Bank here in Fort Smith, it's a light bulb. A light bulb just went off in my head. We found a property in the town where I live in Sallisaw, and it was a great foreclosure, great margins on it. We ran the numbers. It was like, this can be we'll just do a flip property, and we'll just see how it goes. It looks fun on TV, and everybody sees that. At that time, I owned 12 rentals, and I started 2M in 2016, bought a small apartment complex in Tulsa. And that was it. It was just going to be passive income, and that's what I was going to use it for. And so we bought this flip house, and it went really well. And before we even finished it, I was buying another one and another one. And I was starting to lose my mind.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I don't have time for this. And
You're still working full-time?
I'm still working full-time at Centennial Bank. And, I took over there trying to go out and hustle immediately. I had to go out and get business and grow that market share back because they had lost some employees before. And so I get going, and so I spent every night. At that time, I had 3 kids. I have 4 kids now. And I spent every night after they go to bed watching YouTube videos on these real estate gurus and these house flippers and podcasts and books and trying to figure out every edge I can. Yeah. And so I start sending out mass marketing, getting way over my head. Because at this point, I think I know everything, and I don't.
You still don't know everything
and
at this point.
I'm sitting at the bank taking call after call after call, and I'm overwhelmed. You would know. I know how many leads I lost and how many follow-ups I didn't make. And so, I hired a loan assistant over there named Crystal, and we kind of worked out well. And then she started helping me on the side, and we started talking one day, and we said, I think we're there. I think we're there. We need to go start looking for an office. And I say we because she was already on board, and she had been working for me for not even 3 months at that time at the bank, and she was on board. And I was thinking, all right. So this is going to be our team. This is going to be our 2M team. And so we found an office, got some work on it, and once that got ready to go, I informed the bank that we're going to be leaving and going on a grand scale trying to grow this business. And we left, and we just hit the ground running. I mean, from 3,000 or 4,000 postcards every couple of weeks to cold calling to driving around looking for properties. We focused on flip houses immediately, and we hit the ground running. So we had, at any one time, we had 5 or 6 under rehab going. Right now we have about 6 under rehab going, anywhere from Oklahoma to Arkansas to Bella Vista. I mean, we've got it going all over. But I will tell everybody this: it is not as easy as it looks on TV.
It's not fix it or flip it.
It's
not.
not.
Like that.
It's not. It's not Chip and Joanna or any of those. It is. There is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and money going out when it comes to flipping houses. And so we've learned from our mistakes, and we've kind of learned how to be more efficient in the business. We've hired out. So we hired a project manager, Will Beller, who I've known for a long time, has been in construction, and then now. We have, I'll tell you this story real quick. I know we get some other questions, but we started another company and we got some bids on some roofs one day. And so this is how I work. This is how I operate. I don't know. It's just in me. And we got bids and our estimates were way off from what we did when we budgeted this house. And I told my project manager, I said, why is this so high? He said, roofing's where it's at, man. He said the margins are crazy. And there were two of them, the three bids were friends, a couple others, just to kind of compare. Well, none of them came even close to what our estimates were.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything. I'm ignorant on roofing. I have no idea. And I'll even tell you the story. I'm still ignorant on roofing. And I talked to my project manager, Will, and I said, why is this so high? I don't understand. Can you, he goes, roofing is where it's at. He goes, the margins are great. Now you do have a lot of competition, but they're usually, it's a great business to be in if you can get started. And so I said, go price labor and materials. And I'm kind of curious at this point what their margin really is. Mm-hmm. And so we know a roofer, a guy that has a lot of experience, and we price the materials, and the margin was pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's just say. And so at that time, I would say that's probably in the morning time, probably before lunch. By the time we closed business for the day, not only did we have a roofing LLC filed, we had tax ID sent off for, and we had a contractor and roofing license sent to the Arkansas Board of Contractors by the end of that day. And so now 2M Roofing and Construction is born, and we are now in Arkansas and working on our license in Oklahoma, which should be done anytime now. And so we are trying to provide that service, multiple services for the folks of the the River Valley, not necessarily Fort Smith or Sallisaw or all over the River Valley and even to Northwest Arkansas. So we want to be able to help you out of the situation of selling your home, whether it's a family member sick, divorce, somebody moved out, you want to avoid foreclosure, taxes, whatever the problem, or you just don't want it anymore, or don't want to do the repairs. And so we're there. But if you do want to do the repairs, we're there to help that too. We can do anything besides, licensed plumbing and electric work. Everything else, we can do it. And so we want to provide that for Fort Smith, as I talked about being involved in Sallisaw and all the community involvement and all the youth and everything I'm involved in over there. I'm trying to do the same over here. Yeah. I've got billboards down in Rogers to prove it. I've got an office here at Fort Smith, and so when you're driving down Rogers, look up. You're sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings, look up and you'll see us, and you'll see a familiar face. And I hope you get to know that face and and our team for when we come, or give you a call or come knocking at your door, trying to help or provide a service.
But you're not just going after every single, house. There's very unique situations that you're attacking. What are some of those situations where somebody would call Matt and say, hey, look, I need your help. Can you help buy my house? Because as a realtor, to give you an idea, as real estate agents, we're going to stick your home in the market. It takes about 90 days on average in Fort Smith to sell your home. Mm-hmm. Your situation is a little bit different. You can provide a convenience. So what are some situations that you have bought homes in? Or what situation are you looking for to buy?
And so, and just like you said, to be honest, you may not net the most money if you were to sell your home to us. But we are selling the fact of convenience and offering that service for you to get out now with no repairs. That's how we buy them. We buy them as is, what they call as is and where is. It's in our contracts. They say we'll buy it just like that with no repairs. And so our target specifically is the before mentioned, it's people, most of them have been, a family member's been ill and we need to move. Or, my kids have graduated. I don't need this space anymore. Or I have a roof that's leaking, or plumbing that's messed up, electrical that needs to be replaced, but we can't afford to do it, and we just want to go rent a house somewhere. That happens a lot. We run into those situations where they just don't want to mess with it, or it's the old tired landlord.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 75 years old. I've got tenants that I don't want to mess with anymore. I've got tenants that are paying, tenants that are tearing up my properties. I want to get rid of it. And we can offer that from the time we talk to you and sign that contract, you know, you see the signs out there that it's closing 6 days, 7 days. We'll close it in 2 or 3 weeks and we'll get it done and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about putting it on the market and get it. And I'm not trying to take away from, I'm just saying,
give us that.
for these circumstances, it's different. It's not selling a retail home and trying to get max value out of it, because that's what I try to do on the back end of it. And you will sit on the market for a little while. And so you sit on the market and then you sell to a person getting an RD loan or an FHA loan and going through the inspection process. And it's going to take some time. Yeah. And you will probably get more money by the time it's all said and done, but it was also 5 months, 4 months between contract and sell date or closing date. And so we offer that if you need to get out now, we're here for you.
Yeah.
You know, we're here to help you. We're here to do, you know, if we tell you we're going to buy it as is, we're going to buy it as is. Yeah. We don't do an inspection and say, hey, you need to fix this. We do an inspection because we need to know what we need to fix.
Yeah.
And we need to know how to budget it and run our business model. And so, you know, that's what we provide. And so we try to do that as quick, as efficient as possible for the homeowner.
Well, let's talk about an actual situation that we both were involved with. Talk about Mr. Webster. So I met Mr. Webster maybe a year ago. We talked several times over the past year. He's like, man, I want to sell these houses, but I don't really want to put them on the market. He dreaded it. He didn't really want to do it at all, but he did want to sell. And I maybe have talked to him about 3 months ago. I'm like, hey, look, this is what I can get you in these houses. You can get a really good deal on these. I think the average sale date was like 45 to 60 days. And he's like, you know, I just don't want to do that right now. Matt calls me, you know, maybe a month later, says, hey, look, I got Mr. Webster's houses under contract. We're going to buy them. And if you know anybody, let me know. I was like, I wonder why he's going with Matt rather than putting it on the market with the real estate agent. So talk about Mr. Webster a little bit. Why did he decide to go with you rather than list him on the market and maybe make a little bit more money on the back end?
That's right. And so it is unique. It's a unique situation. You know, I've told you before, when I was at the bank, he was part of my original marketing strategy through my mailings. And I talked to him and got down all his information, got so overwhelmed at the bank, never called him back, never followed up, never even went to look at the houses. I knew the addresses and I knew all about them, but that was it. So threw that in the trash because I couldn't keep up with all the leads. It was just a waste of, you know, it was my first marketing budget of $800 and sent out all those letters. And so we sent out another one when I started the business, and I hired an acquisitions guy, Will Musgrove. He's from the Vian area, now lives in Northwest Arkansas. He's our salesman. And so we sent out an immediate marketing strategy on his postcards. And we sent those out. I think we sent 3,800 to the River Valley area. And he got flooded with calls, and one of them was Mr. Webster. And he calls me, I'm Mr. Webster, and I'm like, as soon as he called me, I started nodding. I was like,
super nice guy.
And they hit it off well. And, you know, Mr. Webster is not somebody that needed the money. He's not somebody that dealt with problem tenants. He's not your typical tired landlord. What he wants to do is he has a business card made up that says, you know, buy me golf or buy me lunch, and that's all it says. And it has his name and number on there. That's all he wants to do. He's president of the River Valley Golf Association around here. His wife plays golf. They're the two nicest people you will ever meet. And so I got to go actually meet him in person and talk with him, walk through his houses with Will. And this was one of Will's first customer clients, I think, that he got to work with. And it could have been a better one because there's been some not as good ones. And so we built that rapport, and I called Will about it 2 days later, and I said, hey, man, because we had made an offer. We had already made an offer on the 3 houses, and we were far apart at that point, really far apart. And I said, you know, go offer him golf. I said, tell him me and you will take him next weekend. We'll go play at Eagle Crest in Alamo. We're going to try to get on the hardscrabble. We can get somebody to get us on the hardscrabble. We're going to do something. We'll go play golf with him. And at that time, he was dealing with a little bit of health issues. And so luckily he's now doing great. He got all that taken care of, had to get, went to Houston, and he's back playing golf again. Everything's good to go. But at that time he had some health issues, so we had to wait a couple of weeks and kind of let him sit on it and kind of think about it. And this was, I hired Will 3 months ago, I believe, and we closed on him Wednesday.
Yeah.
We closed on Mr. Webster's 3 properties on Wednesday. And if you saw our Facebook page, you'll see the 3 properties I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Great location, great houses, solid tenants, big backyards. I mean, it's great. He took such great care of those 3 properties.
He had good tenants too.
And he did. And he's very fortunate. So that's it. He's not having bad tenants. He's not a tired landlord. He just doesn't want to worry about it, wants to go play golf.
Yeah.
So there's a situation for everything. There's always some motivation back there. Are you or your salesperson good enough to go find that?
Yeah.
And he built such a good rapport. And the thing is, in the middle of negotiating that deal, that storm that hit over there on the south side, kind of by Phoenix area, knocked a tree right into one of those houses. It fell into the house, opened the roof up, knocked the rafters down, took a window out, everything. And that was a kid's bedroom. That was a young girl's.
Was that before you guys got a contract?
This
or
was
during?
This was during.
Oh man.
And so we went back to the table, started talking again, and we actually offered to do the work from 2M Roofing and Construction. And so he's like, well, he goes, you're the ones that are going to own it, so you want to do it, you can do it. So that was actually our first job that wasn't in-house.
Yeah.
So we did the roof for Mr. Webster at the time. Now for us, we replaced the window, fixed all the inside of it, got the fan back up there, and because the daughter had to sleep in a den for a while because there was no air coming through and everything, and so we got to fix it, get to get some experience, get our sign out there. And then we got, the deal we wanted to get. We got the 3 tenants who have all come by my office and talked to me. Every one of them, because Mr. Webster, he goes, I'm charging way too low on these rents.
Yeah.
He goes, but I'm telling them they're going to have to move and they're going to have to pay more. And of course, when he told them, I was like, thank you. They all come by my office. They figured out where our office was. So you can, go to our website and figure it out. And I talked to all 3 of them, and I don't want to make anybody move. I initially wanted to flip those houses.
Yeah.
I wanted to flip all 3 of them. I thought we could make a good deal and make a good amount of money for us and our sales guy. And after talking to all 3 of them were staying. And so I told them, I said, I'm going to have to get your rent up a little bit. This is my job. This is a business. Yeah. But, if y'all want to stay, you can stay.
Yeah. So you've given us maybe 3 or 4 instances where it's just not about. Yeah. It's not all about money. Mm-hmm. Like you do have to. You have a business now. I mean, it's not just you and Crystal anymore. Crystal is. I mean, she probably takes more job titles than just the executive.
You should see. That's about a list that's about this long.
But I mean, it's not just you two anymore. It's several people in your enterprise, and you're still taking the time to take care of people from the roof. From closing on these properties instead of just wholesaling them to somebody else who Mr. Webster may not have been okay with. Those tenants may not have been taken care of the same way. You're closing those houses, but you didn't have to. Yeah. There's plenty of buyers out there who would have taken those. They're awesome houses and awesome locations. Mm-hmm. From the roof, guys, a lot of people would have walked away from the deal because there's a gaping hole through the roof.
Oh, it's huge.
You say, you know what? Now that you have the ancillary business, I'll just take care of that for you. Your insurance will probably cover the cost.
And it did.
Yep, we'll take care of it. We're still closing the houses on time. So you just giving us a few instances where it's just like it's not all about money on our end. It's really about just helping people who are in the area, who are our clients. We want to help get out of their situation.
That's right, and we want to offer as many services as we can to help the folks of Fort Smith and the River Valley and all the surrounding areas. And so that's our goal, and I've expanded into multiple businesses here very quickly, and we're going to now focus on the ones that we have and try to grow those. And so we really
talk a little bit about those. Talk about those ancillary businesses that you have under the 2M Investments umbrella.
So we started the 2M Investments, and that holds our real estate. And now we have 2M Management, which is going to manage all our properties, and at some point when we're able to, manage other properties as well. We did 2M Roofing and Construction to provide roofing. Initially, it was just going to be roofing. And then I said, well, why not try to, help as many people as we can all at once, instead of, hey, we can do a full service for you. We can take care of all your guttering, your siding, your drywall needs to be fixed. Whatever it may be. You need to add a bedroom. You need to add square footage. You need to open up a room, make it. What does everybody want that open look now in their house? Or whatever it may be. We want to help and try to as many angles on the real estate side as we can, and to provide that service. And then I have another business that will be under our umbrella. It's a franchise that I haven't said anything about yet. So I will, maybe we'll come on here and do it.
Yeah.
It's down the road, but we're probably a month or two away from getting that going. And then we will, really hone in on, where we are now and focus and try to grow.
All right, so you've got 2M Investments, you got 2M Roofing, and construction. So you offer construction services and roofing. We in the River Valley, we tend to have high winds and tornadoes and that kind of thing. So
and this year has just been crazy for the hail and the winds.
Yeah, and then the flooding and all those different type of things. So if you have any situations where you need a roof done or you need any construction done, you can get in contact with 2M Investments. And how do they get in contact with you guys?
So the best way is you can call our office and call Crystal. It's at 479-763-1670. But you can also go to our website, www.2minv.com, and you can see a lot of what we're doing on that website. But the biggest thing is our Facebook page. Go to 2M Investments on Facebook, and we've got a YouTube channel now as well. But you can see we have daily posts on Facebook. And so you can see everything that we're doing. We try to have some interactions with everyone and keep everybody involved and do giveaways and things like that. So you should be able to
Matt, thanks for coming on today.
Hey, Josh, man, I appreciate it.
Telling us a little bit about 2M Investments and all the businesses and services you offer to the River Valley. And if you guys need to get in contact with them, go to the Facebook page or get in contact with Crystal at the number that he provided with you guys. Thanks for coming on Ask a Pro 479, and we'll be back next week. Thanks, guys.